Everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Mandy and I am here to talk about the new versions of the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizers. I got these little minis, which I'll tell you about in the demo. I have the Natural Dewy and the Blurred Matte. And today I am wearing one on one side and the other on the other side so that I can compare them and tell you if I think they're different, which one I like better, which one held up better. I'm gonna do a couple check-ins throughout the day. I'm gonna show you how I apply them. So without further ado, let's get started. I think I'm gonna start out with the matte, and I'm gonna do that on the left side of my face. So I got in both of these the shade 3N. They do have a color matching thing on their website where you can put in something that you feel is your best color match in another foundation, and then it will suggest a shade. It suggested 3N, which says it's light medium with neutral undertones, which is what I would have chosen anyways, because I usually gravitate towards the light to medium shades and I usually gravitate towards neutral undertones. While this one definitely works once I work it into my skin, upon first application, it looks a little dark, but again, I can make it work. So you can see I have the minis. That is what I love about the Laura Mercier site. I'm not quite sure if other sites offer these or not, but you can get the mini bottles for half the price. Now, it is less than half of the amount, so it's still more expensive in the long run, but you're not committing to something if you don't know you like it yet. So I love that they offer that option. So that's what I did for both the matte and the dewy. Both of the matte and the dewy come in 20 shades in cool, neutral, and warm undertones. They retail for $50 for the full size, $25 for the mini, and the full size is a 45 milliliter, so it definitely is larger than the typical 1 ounce for a foundation, but pretty in line with a tinted moisturizer. And then this mini is only 15 milliliters or half an ounce. The website says to apply with fingertips or a sponge. I like to start just putting a little bit on my one index finger and rub it in with my fingers first. So see how it's a little darker on first application. My face is lighter than the rest of my body anyways. So I want it to be darker than my face or skin on my face. See how easy that just blends into the skin, and I take a tiny, tiny, tiny amount for my forehead, even tinier than normal since I'm only doing half of my forehead. And then sometimes I will go back in with a brush and kind of just pat it out if I feel like it needs it, but it honestly doesn't need it. Like, it just blends in so nicely. So while I'm sitting here looking like a fool with half of my face one shade and the other half another, I'll go ahead and tell you the claims on the matte. It says it has shine control that also improves the appearance of pores by minimizing them, but it has 16 hours of hydration along with the shine control. And a lot of times matte products don't claim to have any hydration benefits, so that is good. 91% skincare ingredients. It does have an SPF 30. It says no flashback. I'm going to do a picture using flash in a dark bathroom once I've applied both sides and see if that's true. I will put that up right now so you can see. Usually no flashback is an issue as long as the sunscreen ingredients or filters are chemical and not physical. However, the one in the matte are both physical sunscreen filters. Titanium dioxide and zinc. Silica is the third ingredient, which I think is what helps this become such a blurring product. I love silica. It is basically the main ingredient in my favorite Fit Glow bamboo powder. It does blur the skin immensely, and it does mattify without looking flat and thirsty. And it also has kaolin in the list of ingredients, which I feel like is important to note because I do know a lot of people have an allergy to that ingredient. So this is the matte. So you can see I have on the Centella Skin 1004 SPF today. Okay, so this is my skin with just the SPF. And you can see it doesn't mattify it so much that I would consider this a super matte formula by any means. But let's compare it to the Dewy, which I also got in 3N. This one only has 88% skincare ingredients, which is such a minimal 3% difference. It claims to have 24 hours of hydration versus the 16 in the matte It says it's humidity proof while also providing an all day dew. That's its words, all day dew. All day dew, say that like 15 times fast. No, this is not from a club. That ship has sailed years ago for me personally. It's from a basketball tournament. And I just cannot get it off my hand. This one has chemical sunscreen filters versus the mineral that are in the matte version. It does have silica on the list as well. However, it is much farther down than in the matte, which makes sense. It also has mica farther down, which will contribute to the dewiness, but I don't find that it has any actual sparkles or, you know, particles of glitter in it, like some people fear that any product with mica has. And it also has lactobacillus down far, far on the list. And I did not check this before I got it. My skin is very sensitive to that ingredient. I have not worn this multiple days in a row. I fear that if I did, I would start forming some bumps, but with the occasional, like every other day, every third day of me wearing this, I have not had an issue with that ingredient. Okay, so this is dewy, this is matte. Do you see a difference? I see a little bit more light reflection on this side than I do on this side, but it is not scary different. See how the dewiness on this side comes a little bit farther down on my cheek versus this side where it kind of stops right here. A little bit more dew on my chin on this side. My forehead seems to be about equal where it's catching the light. So it is dewier, but it's not like such a vast difference that I'm gonna feel stupid wearing both of these throughout the day because I am leaving my house. It's just not, I don't think, gonna be that much more noticeable once I set and finish my makeup, which I'm gonna go do right now, and we'll see how it looks once everything else is done. Okay, makeup is complete. Did I add a highlighter? Yes. You wanna know why? Because this is how I wear my makeup every single day. So in order for me to personally do a true review or comparison, I am using the products that I use every single day, which is what I use today. So again, this side has the matte. I set with the Laura Mercier blurring powder, and then this side has the dewy. So looking straight ahead, I do think that you can still see a little bit more dew right here despite being set with a powder. I am gonna go about my day. I'm gonna do a check-in midday. I am working out today, so we'll see if that has any effect on it. And then I will do a check-in at the very end of the night so we can see which one looks better, which one held up better, and if there really is that big of a difference. I forgot to do a check-in. I meant to do it earlier than this. It is 4:30. I have had both of these on for 7 hours now. So remember, on this side, I have the matte. I'm gonna get up close and personal. It looks like it's not right here, but it is when I look in my other mirror. Y'all, I have like a dent in my head right there. We're not gonna talk about that. Like, it just showed up. I don't know what's going on. Okay, this side is dewy. Look at that is not foundation coming off of my forehead. That is a literal dent in my forehead. I don't know what is going on. All right, this is the 7-hour check-in. I have worked out today. I'm about to go walk to my neighbors to get some farm fresh eggs, and it is flipping cold outside. So I'm not having to deal with the heat or anything like that, but just a check-in, and I will come back at the end of the day. We are back. It is 7:30 at night. So it has been 10 hours since I have had both of these tinted moisturizers on, and I'm curious to see if y'all see any difference. I have a couple of very small differences that I can tell, but remember, this side is the matte, this side is the dewy. I just got done with a 5 out of 10 hot flash, and my hot flashes come in the form of severe flushing in the face. But because of that, I think you'll be able to see, I do find that the matte holds its coverage a little bit better than the dewy. So I'm just as, hot and red on both sides of my face, but you can see more redness on this side than you can on this side. Now, you can still see it, it's just not as prevalent. And the other main difference that I see is just a little bit right around the nose, more dewiness on this side. which makes sense. This is the dewy side. This one definitely stayed matte throughout the day. I have not touched up or done anything to my makeup since I applied it 10 hours ago. So it's not like I feel the need to even really touch up the dewy side. It's just a little bit more luminous there than on the matte side, which again, makes sense. All in all, I find these two products to be very similar. If I personally had to choose, I would choose the matte. There's just something when I wear it all over, it really is blurring. Even though I just got my 10 times magnification mirror to see if I felt like it was more blurred enough to make a difference on the matte side versus the dewy, it's just slightly more blurring. To be fair, as a whole, I don't struggle with large pores, but there's just something about it when I have the matte all over my face. It just looks very perfected and very flawless. Just a smidge above the dewy. So if I had to pick, it would definitely go to the blurring matte formula, but otherwise they are very similar. And I feel like unless you have very, very, very dry skin and you need to go with the dewy, or you have very, very oily and you need to go with the matte, you could probably enjoy either one of them. I do find that they have more coverage than the old formula from what I can remember, and really more coverage than most of the tinted moisturizers and skin tints I have in my collection. It just seems like a solid medium coverage on me when I first apply it. And again, I don't feel like that coverage shifts or wanes, maybe a little bit like on the dewy side, but not enough to where I feel like it's something that's gonna patch off. It's never patched off on my face when I've worn these. Overall, I absolutely adore the new formulations of the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizers. Really, both of them. I love these small bottles. They are great for travel and just to try them if you want, but these definitely have my stamp of approval. So hopefully this was helpful. I will have everything listed and linked down below. You definitely can get these other places than the Laura Mercier website, but I will link it there as well as a couple of other retailers, because again, you can get the mini sizes on the Laura Mercier website. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank y'all so much for watching. I will see you in my next video, and I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.